Hey, it's Mark with Mark's Dodgers Cards. Hope everybody's doing well. I just received a huge pickup for me in the mail. The most valuable Dodgers Topps card of the 1960s, and one that I really need to unlock finishing that Topps run. The most valuable card from the Dodgers in the 1960s. It's not a Sandy Koufax. It's not a Duke Snider. It's not a Gil Hodges. Not Don Drysdale. Not Don Sutton rookie card. It is the elusive Ken McMullen rookie card, otherwise known as the Pete Rose rookie card. I had to get this one in order to complete my 1963 Topps Dodgers set, and yeah, I just received it in the mail. Very, very excited about it. I'm going to talk a little bit about this card. Now, it obviously has Pete Rose on it too, and Pete Rose is a terrific player. And actually, Pete Rose is one of the first guys that I collected when I was a kid. After Don Drysdale, Pete Rose was the guy I collected, and I collected him pretty hard. I've got tons of Pete Rose cards from when I was a kid. I collected his entire run except for the rookie, which just got right now, 1965, 67, and 72. And I collected him until basically until everything came out about the gambling. And as a kid at the time, I felt really disappointed and disillusioned, and decided I wasn't going to collect him anymore. I kept all my childhood cards because they have a lot of sentimental value, and I know there's a lot of debate about him in the Hall of Fame, and I kind of have of two minds about that, but that's sort of how I felt as a kid when I was collecting. I just was sort of like kind of let down about it. But now I need this card because I've shifted my focus to building Dodgers team sets and collecting all the Dodger cards, and so I needed this one. So I went after this. I know some people joke, Chris Sewell, collector, investor, dealer in that order, when he was doing the regular and high rollers, used to joke about the Pete Rose card being the Ken McMullen card, but I actually got that card for Ken McMullen. So there's that. Who was Ken McMullen? Ken McMullen was a third baseman. He played most of his career with the Dodgers and the Senators. And he also played with a couple other teams. He was on the Angels. He was on the I believe the Pirates, maybe the Brewers, I think, but I know that he was most of the time he was with the Dodgers and the Senators. He had two stints with the Dodgers, once in the beginning of his career and then once kind of towards the end. A couple notable things about him. When he debuted in the major leagues, he was only 20 years old. He was part of the 1963 World Series team, but didn't play in the World Series because he was injured. He was part of the trade that went to the Senators that brought Claude Osteen to the Dodgers, who was, of course, a longtime Dodgers pitcher. And he was also traded to the Dodgers as part of the trade that sent Frank Robinson to the Angels late in his career. He was a third baseman. He was above average, but not great. He has a career WAR of, I think, 34. So yeah, that's Ken McMullen. And that's his rookie card. I want to talk a little bit about acquiring the card. I wanted to make sure that I got this card in a low grade. I didn't want to spend a lot of money for it. I was actually kind of pissed off that I need to spend hundreds of dollars for essentially a common player, but such is life, and that's how it is. So my goal was to get a low grade card, but one that was presentable. I want to say a couple things about how this came about. First, I want to give a shout out to Doug Video Guy 316. Subscribe to his channel. It's a great channel. He's a great guy, and that's in the below. He reached out after I showed my 1955 Bowmans and wanted to make a deal to acquire a bunch of them. We made a nice deal, and that helped free up some money for me so I could go after this card. And I also want to shout out Aaron with Value Vintage, who I was texting back and forth, consulting on this card before I bought it. I ended up getting it in a Facebook group and in an auction. And yeah, pretty happy with the way it turned out. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you the card, and then the rest of my basic Topps Pete Rose run and my Topps Ken McMullen run. I should say, I said that, I just want to clarify, I think I said this is the most expensive Dodger card of the 60s. It's the most expensive basic Topps card of the 60s. There's lots of different, oddball issues that have more scarce cards of big guys like Sandy Koufax that I'm sure are more expensive. But this is a very expensive Dodgers card. Anyway, I will turn the camera around now and show you the cards. All right, guys, here's the card. You'll see how I'm covering it and you'll see why. So the grade is an authentic, and this is why. It says color added. I think it's because of this paper loss down here. There's also a little bit of smudge on the back, but other than that, I think it looks great. It's very well centered, except for the bottom. There's nice corners and edges, good registration. I'm very happy with this example. Here's the front. This paper loss at the bottom doesn't really bother me. You know, if there's anywhere that was going to be kind of messed up, I'm happy with that. And then here's the back. Maybe this is the color added they're talking about, the little smudge over here. But again, clean back, you can see everything. Now, I'll just be full disclosure. I spent $516 on this card, all in, delivered. The average for VCP for a 1 is like $550, and for authentic, it's actually higher. Some of those ones have like hole punches out of them, visible paper loss in the front that disrupts the image, major creasing. I don't know, I think this looks pretty nice. I was pretty happy with getting it for this price, and I did not want to pay for a 2 or a 3 or even a 1.5, which would have been significantly more money. So anyway, that is this card. Shout out to the Reds fans on YouTube, Rob at Cash Cards and Dave at Peacemaker Cards, and I know there's others, but anyway, here it is. Now, before I show the Pete Rose cards, which some of them I've already shown them, but I'm just going to show them again because they look nice with the rookie card. I got to show my Ken McMullen cards. So here's his 1964 Topps card. And then he was traded to the Senators, as I mentioned, and he came back to the Dodgers. And here's his 73 Topps, 74 Topps, 75 Topps. He was largely a pinch hitter at the end because of Ron Say being at third base, and 76 Topps. All right, that's my Ken McMullens. And now for Pete Rose's, here's these are all childhood cards. My 64 Topps, my 66 Topps, which this is actually a very nice example. Now they do look good together, I have to say. Maybe I will try and complete this run at some point. My 68 Topps, my 69. I sent a few cards to CSG, and this one came back pretty nice. I'm only going to show one that's not a base card, and that's this one, because this is just a super sharp card. This came back in 8, and yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. We got 70. This has a crease in it. 71. They're pretty nice examples. 72 I'm missing. Then I have 73. 74. 75. This is off center. 76. This one's really nice. Yeah, I sent up all the CSG ones off as a kind of a, right when they started, just to kind of test out what their grading standards were like, so I could understand how they were as a service. 78. 79. And last but not least, 1980. Now, I'm not going to show all the ones that are past 1980. I've got a ton of ones from the 80s, but I just wanted to show the vintage Pete Rose run. All right, that's my big pickup. The Ken McMullen rookie card. There he is, the man, Ken McMullen. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day.